Look, I promise, I'm trying to ignore the occult, but it's everywhere. You might be thinking, no, it's not. But the truth is, occult ideas, which we will define as magical beliefs or practices, still permeate throughout the modern, rational world. In fact, modern science was born out of the occult. And that's why organizations like NASA still pay homage to their occult forefathers by naming their programs after ancient gods, like the Apollo program. I'm telling you, it's everywhere. Look at something like the Indiana state flag. Right in the middle, we have the symbol of the torch, which goes back to the story of Prometheus stealing fire or knowledge from the gods and bringing it to man. The torch became a common symbol during the Enlightenment, which is an occult term, by the way, and is used all over the modern world. Check out the stars. There are 20. That's because Indiana was the 20th state. But 7 stars are highlighted. What's up with that? These 7 stars represent Ursa Major, the Great Bear constellation, which goes back all the way to prehistory and has been associated with esoteric stories since the beginning of civilization. But it gets even stranger. 7 is also a super commonly used sacred number. You know it because there are 7 days in the week, 7 notes on a musical scale, 7 colors in the rainbow, 7 chakras at your yoga class, 7 deadly sins that you pretend you don't do. But did you know that 7 was also the number of planets or wandering stars that were visible to our ancestors before telescopes? The 7 were the sun, Sol, the moon, Luna, Mercury, Hermes, Venus, Aphrodite, Mars, Aries, Jupiter, Zeus, and Saturn, Cronus. Okay, but what does this have to do with our beloved art of Taekwondo? What if I told you that at its very core, Taekwondo is entrenched in Eastern occult ideas? Oh, you guessed it, it is! Let's start by looking at the Korean flag itself. I know you probably thought that Koreans were just really big fans of Pepsi, and that's why they put the Pepsi logo on their flag, but it's not true. I've been there, they're not into Pepsi, they're into like pine tree sap soda. The symbol in the center of the flag is called the Taegeuk, and it symbolizes the idea of balance and harmony between opposing forces. Guys, that's super occulty. Just take a look at these similar concepts played out in Western esotericism. And what about these cool looking little bars? Ever wonder what those are? Turns out, those are trigrams found in the ancient Chinese text, the I Ching. A solid bar represents yang, or light, and the broken line represents yin, or dark. If you combine these bars in groups of 3 in as many different variations as possible, you will get 8 distinct variations. In the I Ching, these 8 trigrams each represent a different divination sign. The divination signs are heaven, lake, fire, thunder, wind, water, mountain, and earth. If you stack 2 trigrams together, you get one of the hexagrams found in the I Ching, which you could think of like a fortune. The divination process is pretty simple. You use an object that randomizes outcomes to determine if you get a straight or broken line. If you want to know exactly how to do this, it's not hard to look up. Check it out. Don't be lazy. The simple explanation, though, is that you ask a question and then you use a randomized process to generate a trigram, which you can then look up and discover your fortune. I asked the I Ching, will the people who are watching this video subscribe and give me a thumbs up? And it told me, keeping still, keeping his back still so that he no longer feels his body. He goes into his courtyard and does not see his people. No blame. And you know what? That sounds to me like a no. So smash that like button and show this ancient sorcery stuff who's really boss. If you are still wondering what on earth this has to do with Taekwondo, check out the main set of forms, the Taegeuk forms. Remember this thing called a Taegeuk? Cool, right? But it's much crazier. If you look at a Taegeuk form from a bird's eye view, you would notice that it outlines these trigram patterns on the ground. Remember when we said that there are 8 trigram combinations? That's right, there are also 8 Taegeuk forms. And what is really cool is you can actually determine if the line you are making is solid or broken by whether or not you take a step or slide. Or you could think about whether you turn using your back foot or front foot. If you take a step and turn with the front foot, it's a solid line. If you slide and turn with your back foot, it's a broken line. Knowing this, you can see that each trigram shows you the footwork layout for your Taegeuk forms. Crazy, right? For fun, let's look at the Korean flag and determine which Taegeuk forms are displayed. The top left is Taegeuk 1, or heaven, and the bottom right is Taegeuk 8, or earth. The top right is Taegeuk 6, or water, and the bottom left is Taegeuk 3, or fire. Hey, this is good stuff, right? And it's probably worth lots of money, but I'm not even asking for any. I just want you to go check out my website, tkdguide.com. It's full of all sorts of other free things. I'm not asking for anything else. Just go to my site and check out the other free stuff. That's tkdguide.com. Go there now.